Okay.
It's actually Spectrum.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think one of the nodes that come into my area is bad. And instead of them just replacing it, they keep trying to fix it.
Ah. So you're on your either cell service or a backup right now?
Yeah, I wound up getting the T-Mobile internet
Mhm.
as a backup. It's not a great connection, I will tell you that. I'm
Okay.
getting about 5 megabytes per second.
Oh
So
wow.
yeah. But I did a meeting the other day on it, and it worked fine. So fingers crossed.
Oh
Yeah, it's crazy. They're gonna
yeah,
get in a lot of trouble here, I tell you that.
I'm sure. All right. I'll keep an eye on the waiting room, but I think we are probably good to get started. I know we got through about 5 minutes or so last time, just kind of
Mhm.
starting with the work order and creating transactions based off the work order, but it would probably best suit us just start over because we weren't too far into it.
Sure.
Unless Anisha, you had other thoughts, but
So we actually um started with a project, and
yeah, sorry, I
we're
meant
actually yeah,
yeah,
we're
yeah,
actually going through the sales process or the
quote,
customer
yeah.
process.
So
So
before we start, you're gonna record this and send us a copy?
Yep. I have a recording and then a note taker as well going along with this, and I can send the copy as well. Yep, of
Okay, thank you.
course.
okay, so I'll just start over. I'll use the same process here. So I'm going to go to projects new. So again, the first thing we do is we create a project,
Hmm.
and there's just a couple of fields we need to fill out: the customer, the part number. I'm just going to pick something real quick, and that's pretty much it for this. And then I'm going to hit update tool number, and that's going to assign a tool number, which is our common number that gets attached to all our items that are created.
And that's a custom record, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
And it's again, I'll show you what that record looks like. It's really nothing. It's just a placeholder for the number.
Okay.
It
I
does
feel
link
as if
back
I
to the
asked the
project.
same. Okay, that's why. Yeah, I was wondering. I think I probably asked the same question last time as to why it's not just like an integer or value or something that's tracked, but you want it as a standalone record linked back to the project.
Yeah, and yeah, so they link it back to the project, and then this number, when I import the quote, you'll see this number will be part of the items that are created, the name, right?
Got it. Okay.
So close that. So from here, I'm gonna create a quote. Slow, it's not finished loading yet.
And is this exclusively how you're creating quotes for the sales process? Are there ever standalone quotes that aren't being created from a project?
No, this is the
Okay,
only way. Yeah.
got it.
A few things I need to fill out here. I think that's it. So I'm going to import the quote file. And again, this quote file comes from our workbook that exports a CSV file. And
Mhm.
that's what gets
Completely independent from NetSuite, right?
correct. Yes.
Okay.
And that's it. Just save it. And this is just a warning that my part number on the file and the part number that I put in here don't match. I'm okay with
Oh,
that. So the other thing this does is it does have to put a test item in initially because it needs to save it.
mhm.
So without an item, it doesn't. I think it kicks back an error or something.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Mhm. So down here is the import status. It says in process, so it might take a minute or two to import. And since we're in Sandbox, it's probably going to take a little longer. So as you can see, I had put in the project test. I think the customer part number was test, and then the rev was A. So when it gives you that warning, it's going to use whatever's in the file.
Mhm.
So it actually changed it from test to the actual part number that's on the file.
Got it.
Let's see. Okay, so now it's completed. And if I scroll down, you can see all the items it's created. So you could see that tool number is in that item name now. Right, and it's common to our PCB, our mechanicals, our assemblies. Then there's NREs and other charges that are in here that don't require the tool number.
And is that a field on the item where you specify if the name, like how does it know which items to append the tool number onto and which not?
It knows by the import file. So there's a
Okay.
custom record somewhere in here that defines that.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, so it defines whether you're using an assembly item, which would have the tool number attached to it, or a service item, which does not have you typically will not have a tool number attached to it, because we can use that service item over and over again. It's not a custom like these NREs and um, this parts item, and then this int. So these are all items that are used over and over again in the system because they're just service items. They're
Yeah.
not
Okay.
specific to the tool number. Okay, so from here, so now, we send this off to the customer. The customer then will pick and choose which, quantities and deliveries they want to go with. Maybe they just want to order the PCB for now. So the customer support will come back into this quote. And we need to approve those lines. So we come down. There's a little checkbox that says quote line approved. So I'm going to approve the fab. Oops. Approve the fab. That's all I'm going to do for now.
Okay.
So we can get through this. Come on. Okay, and save this. Okay, so from here we can create the sales order. So the other a couple of things that can be done if the customer say wants a new quote, or they want an additional delivery and quantity. They would do that on the standalone sheet, and then they can re-import it by using this update quote button. They can re-import that.
You ever updating quotes through the UI before creating sales order?
Sometimes, not typically, but they can. Sometimes they may order an inventory part, let's say I don't know, a relay or something like that they would just want to buy. The customer support team can select that on the quote.
Mhm.
They typically don't do that, but that's an example of, at least they're allowed to, right?
Yeah.
So, okay, so create the sales order. It's just a little warning. We're at Sandbox, so I don't care.
Yeah. I assume it's native credit limit stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm using one of our test customers.
Mhm.
So, a few things we gotta fill out here, PO, class, split panel, number of panels. So there's certain fields that we need filled out in order to create the sales order.
Mhm.
Shipping, I need something here.
Is there any type of shipping integration, or you guys have your own carriers?
No, we don't have anything
Okay.
set up. Okay, and then here's our item that we're ordering. Uh, Put some dates in here. I think that's all I need.
Mhm.
Let's double check this. Yeah, I think it'll give me a warning if I miss
Yeah.
something. Then we have different trackers on here that just go on reports. They don't do anything script-wise in the system.
Okay.
It's just a way for people to track certain milestones.
Yep. So it appears like this is less customized than the quote form, which does have that import process, the update process through an import,
Hmm.
versus this is more through the UI, having it
Yes.
being generated off of the quote.
Yeah, and they can add parts to this as well
Mhm.
manually. They don't have to, it doesn't not necessarily have to come from the quote.
Okay.
Mhm. Okay, so now the sales order is created. And once the sales order is created, it knows what items are here. And it knows that there's a PCB. So there's a button that gets added called PCB work order. I probably should have added the assembly, but that's okay. If there were both PCB and assembly, there would be two buttons, PCB work order and ASM work order button.
And it knows it's PCB. Is there a class or a department or
I think
something that's specifying it?
I believe they're using what's called a subtype.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not actually sure. It has something to do with either the subtype, which is called fab. Um, we have fab and we have assembly. Um, and I think that's where they assign whether it's dash PCB or dash ASM as well.
Got it.
Yeah. So if I click this button, so now the planner takes over from here, right?
Mhm.
And he will now create the work orders. So on the fab side, so fab is the only division, and specifically PCB, not our MLO division. So our PCB division uses an engineering software that generates the traveler and the BOM. So there's three files that get imported in order to create a work order for PCB. The rest of our divisions, assembly, MLO, they they do import files, but they use traveler templates that live in NetSuite.
And what I'm looking at right here, is this a custom record?
Yes,
Okay.
it's a Suitelet.
Mhm.
So I'm going to pick the BOM. Pick the dependency. So the dependency file is, what subassemblies are dependent on each other. And then the route file.
Interesting. Okay.
Okay, so I have the BOM, the dependency, and the route, and I can save it. And eventually this status will come up once I refresh a few times. There we go. So now it's saying the BOM revision creation is in progress.
Mhm.
Routing creation is in progress. So it creates the BOM record, the route
Okay.
record.
And is all of this going on? So it's going on to a work order, I assume.
Yeah. So once this is done, I come back in here and I have to edit it, and then I'm going to actually select how I'm going to create these work orders. Okay. So
Mhm.
now the routing created successfully. I'm going to edit. And then down here is where I'm going to say how many panels I want to create when I want to start it. And then release type, that in, and then there's a button called create work order. So I
Mhm.
check that. I add now, if we need a lot of panels, so we run in panels of I'm sorry, we run in lots of 4 panels per set of work orders.
Yeah.
So if we needed, 8 panels, I would do another set of 4
Okay.
and so on, right?
So they'd be separate work orders. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, or separate groups of, because so this one line in this particular job, there's an inner layer traveler. So there's an inner layer work order and an outer layer work order. So there's going to be 2 work orders created.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
And we call them sub-assemblies, right? So it's
Yeah. Yeah.
this an inner sub-assembly and then the final.
Okay. That makes sense to me. The sub-assembly to final. Yeah.
Yeah. And it knows how to do that based on this dependency file.
Oh, so the dependency file is like a sub-assembly that you're creating.
Well, so let me show you what this looks like. So this is just a text file. It says
Yeah.
here's a subassembly. So this subassembly goes into this assembly. Oops,
Okay.
to this assembly. So it knows how to read this, and then this is the final, right?
And then what is the actual BOM file showing?
So the BOM file, show you that. It's a little harder to read. So this just defines it does define the inner layer or the sub-assemblies and the material. So here's the
These look like
material
more
part
specific
number.
components and items.
So this holds the raw material.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So the BOM file holds just the raw material. The dependency file will dictate what sub-assemblies have to be added to the
Okay.
BOM.
Yeah, and they might have multiple sub-assemblies that eventually roll up into one larger assembly, and that would be defined there.
Right. Right.
Okay.
Well, wouldn't it be, it doesn't get defined in this BOM
No, in
raw
the
file?
dependency one. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, in the dependency. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, so let me still going. So Sandbox is much slower than
Yeah.
production.
They do that on purpose at NetSuite.
Oh, do they?
I mean, it's at least kind of a platitude that I've repeated multiple times in different projects where whenever people are getting frustrated at Sandbox, I always say, well, Sandbox is slower than production, so don't worry. Um, I do believe they're given less bandwidth than the Sandbox accounts.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I know it's a shared service.
Hmm.
I did this the other day. It did take a few minutes to create.
Yeah. I mean,
So
so far the process is all making sense to me. I am curious, just honestly curious, because I know how the bombs and the routings and the bomb revisions and things work
Mhm.
within NetSuite when you're using the native version. I'm curious how the dependency file is digested by NetSuite and turned into something that it actually uses. Um, but I'm sure I'll see that.
yeah, so it takes those here. Yeah, it's gonna take a minute. So let's look at this. So it's gonna take whatever's written in here
Mhm.
and it creates the BOM record off of
Okay.
this. It also creates the route record off of this.
Okay.
So the manufactured route.
The routing, yeah. And so
And
there's going to
actually
be a unique bomb revision and routing for pretty much every project.
yeah, unless it's a reorder, a direct reorder. right? So if no changes to anything, we can reuse those BOM records and the route record.
Okay. And yeah,
And
you would never use the same bill of materials and have multiple revisions off of it for more than one project.
you can have multiple BOM revisions. Yeah. So there's some
Oh,
options here.
repeat job. Okay. Mhm.
Yeah. So if it's the same tool number, which we typically don't do because it affects our plant if we use the same tool number for different revisions. Um, it could cause bad product on the floor.
Yeah.
If there's an internal change and we do want to use the same tool number, we can use this create new RDA revision. And that will up rev the BOM and the route. Okay, here we go. So now we have a work order. So this will always show the top level, the final assembly work order. And so this is the top level assembly. So it's the item that's on the quote, both the quote and the sales order
Yep.
that gets sold. As you can see, it creates the bill of materials, the rev, and the manufacturer route, and it automatically knows its WIP. Okay. And if we come down, we can see on this BOM is that subassembly item.
Okay. It only has
And
one component.
so for the final assembly, it only needs the subassembly. In this case, right? So in this particular job, there's no
Mhm.
raw materials that have to be pulled for the
Got it.
final, just the subassembly. The other thing that it does in that process of creating the work order is it creates the lot numbers.
Are these native lot numbers or is this custom? This looks a little
So
different.
it's definitely customized. It's just a sequential number
Got it.
on the record itself. So if I open up the item, there's a next lot number. So the system
Mhm.
knows the next time this gets ordered, this is the next lot number.
Got it.
So it does that for both for every assembly in the work order tree, right? So sub-assemblies and final all have their own lot numbers.
Got it. Okay.
Okay. So I come back to items. So I'll open this work order. Now this is the inner layer sub-assembly work order. Again, it's
Mhm.
got its own bill of materials, own rev, and own route.
And that was all just defined in those CSV files you first put in.
Yes.
Got it. Okay.
Yep. Yep.
And your process for creating those is independent from NetSuite.
Yes. Yeah, it comes from our engineering software.
Okay.
So for PCB and MLO, the three files are imported. MLO's process is a little different. So they do use the BOM file from our engineering software. They do not use the Traveler though, so they have a template for that. Assembly has a BOM file they get from designers, so it's a slightly different process. They only have to import one file rather than three.
Mhm.
Since there's no sub-assemblies, for assembly for the actual assembly process.
Got it.
So
And just
here are
out
the
of
items.
curiosity, the
Yep.
reason for that final assembly that it sounds like oftentimes it's just a one sub-assembly on the BOM revision and then is it is it final inspection steps? Is it what is the last step taking place there that only has one component turning into a different component?
On the sub-assembly traveler.
Yeah, well, like the one that we just took, for example, where it just had only one item when it
Oh,
came to the component items, and then it's turning into obviously a final good. What's the process there?
so well, there's a lot of operations. There's
Okay.
112.
Okay, so just a bunch of things happen to something that's already built, but it's still adjusting it and changing it.
Yeah, so it's kind of
Okay.
like you're taking a smaller piece and you're putting it into what's going to be a larger piece,
Yep. Okay.
right?
You just
Um,
don't need other components to do that. It's all like processes with existing
yeah,
tools. And, yeah. Okay.
exactly. For this particular job, we just need that subassembly.
Mhm.
So once we have that subassembly, we can continue with these steps.
Got it. Okay.
Yep. So for the inner layer, uh, as you can see, there's more items on the bottom. There's 4 items on the bottom. This is all raw material that gets pulled.
Okay. Yep.
So from here, the planner will, so as we know in NetSuite, once you put a work order in process, it's locked. You
Hmm.
can't change anything. Um, so there's a record that gets created that will lock it. So up until now, the planner can still make changes, to steps, on the manufacturer route if he needs to. There's a button here that says create client app operations.
Mm.
So he would then go in here and hit that. And here's just a warning that says, hey, once you click this button, you can't up the route. So if he says, oh, I don't want to do that, right. Um,
And what is
but
this?
if he's good with it,
Yeah. You're probably getting there. I was just gonna ask, like, what is the client app operations like doing? What is it creating? What record is it generating?
so it's creating a custom record that our tracker sees.
Okay.
So it's a custom production tracker that the operators on the floor will move the jobs through.
Okay. And is this they're on NetSuite? Are they printing it out? Mhm.
So they would print this traveler out. It goes along with the job on the floor. The operator will scan it into the client app. I'll show you the client app. Unfortunately, I don't have a client app for Sandbox. I only have it for production, but I can show you what it would look like.
Okay. But
So
it's scanned from NetSuite. Sometimes it's printed, or it's always printed, but sometimes it's scanned from NetSuite and they'll have it on a device or a tablet or something.
yeah, on workstations throughout the shop. Yeah. So it allows us to only have one login, and each operator, um, they don't need their own NetSuite login.
Yeah. Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay, so the other thing that gets done here is once the planner is good to release this job, there's a button here that says, or a checkbox that says okay to issue. This just, whoops, when it does that, it just says that this work order is okay to issue to the next work order once it's complete.
Okay.
Right? Because he's doing a lot of different things at the same time, and he may have other things he has to do before he can, you know, uh, say this is okay to issue to the next work order, if that makes sense.
And is there some type of
Uh,
process in place? Like, is there an issue if you have it pushed to that client app before saying it's okay to issue, or are those processes separate?
they're separate.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you don't create the client app records, if you don't hit that button, you won't see it on the client app anyway.
Okay.
Right. Okay, so now that button disappeared, that client app record, right? Because we already
Mhm.
created it, and an issue components button. So because this is the inner layer, I'm going to issue the material.
Yeah.
And I don't know how they do this on the floor, honestly. They might use RF Smart for this. I don't know. I'll just do, so at least one issue has to be done in order to move this job.
Yep.
So I'll just do the one. Just close here. Okay, so I have the work order issue. Go back to the work order. And because I didn't issue all the components, I still have the issue components button
Yep.
there, right? We are in the process of hiding these two buttons
So you're not using work
because
order completions.
no. So
Okay.
that all gets done through the client app.
Got it.
And I'll show you the client app here. So this is basically what the operators will see.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if I have a work order in production here. Let's see. I had one the other day. Let's try this one. So they would scan it. So on the bottom of the traveler, there's a barcode. They scan it, puts the work order in,
Mm-hmm.
and then they get this screen.
Okay.
So it gives them the lot numbers. So each lot number will have its own line because we can move them independently if we want to. They can pick the ending operation. So they're, you know,
Okay. So this
they
is
don't
like a work order completion, just not in NetSuite.
exactly. So
Okay.
it'll create, if I move both of these panels, which I won't, but if I did,
Mhm.
it would create two separate work order completions in this,
Got it.
one for each panel. Because, we may move one ahead, keep one behind, scrap one. So there's different things that can be done here.
Understood. Okay.
Hey Karen, one quick question. Will it be a fair statement that these are applications that would probably not be in use or get replaced by the Siemens Hub Center?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So this would go away. I don't know up to what point in the work order creation process it won't be applicable after Siemens. That all depends on what they're going to want in NetSuite, I think, as far as
I was
financial
having that
transactions.
thought, yeah. I thought that myself, and I was pretty certain that uh, that we are far from having that clarity at this point of time right
Mhm.
now. Do we have Tai on the call? And that's okay. I mean, I'm not wanting to open that conversation on how that new design probably could be. That's up for future, but okay. This is good to know that this is how the application works currently.
Yeah. Yep. So that's pretty much it. I mean, once the work order moves all the way through, it will close the work order once all of the quantity is completed and
Mhm.
create that work order close record. Puts it into, so in the case of a subassembly, it puts it into a subassembly inventory where the next work order can pick it up and issue that.
Mhm.
Um, and then once the final work order is complete, obviously it goes into finished goods and you can sell it on, or you can fulfill it on the sales order.
Got it. And this is, as of right now, it's the only use for projects. Obviously, it's a huge use. It's what you use to generate each one of your quotes and sales orders, but there's no other thing that you're using projects for that's separate from this, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. All
I
right.
think we definitely underutilize project in NetSuite.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking selfishly just because that's what's on the forefront of the Costa Rica and Pakistan implementation.
Mhm.
If we could, set up a separate form and even maybe like a checkbox that or way to completely separate it from this current use of projects, but still find a way to get value out of that with people tracking time and things like that in those subsidiaries. Which I think is doable. I mean, we could easily separate the two forms
Well,
and types of projects.
I don't know if we want to separate them because they're working off the same tool number, right?
Okay.
And it is all one project. Eventually, it's going to be all one project, right?
Yeah.
And in order to get that back to costing, especially for design,
Yeah.
how to get back into that project's total cost, I think they have to be linked.
Okay,
Or
so for design projects, which is what I'm under the impression that that's pretty much all Costa Rica and Pakistan are really responsible for. There will still be a tool number and an end product they're distributing when they're done.
for sure, yeah.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, I mean, you're right. It's similar in that if they could build time directly against this project, it just gives you another level to track.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, okay. That is good to know. Anisha, did you have any questions? I'm not sure if you wanted to go over and see. I'm assuming there's less customization around the purchasing process,
Oh, yeah.
kind of
That's all.
employee setup, things like that.
Yeah, that's all native NetSuite.
Okay.
That's all.
There's no,
Okay.
go ahead, sorry.
In any case, Karen, as of today, the kind of service activity that the Pakistan and the Costa Rica team are involved in is not tracked or managed in NetSuite, right?
As far as I know, yeah.
Okay. Um,
We tried to get them to use the project, in a very manual way, right? So we have this design section on the project where they
Hmm.
could record their design hours, their AE hours, right? Nobody's using it.
Yeah.
Um,
So,
so that is fine, Karen. What I would really insist is having some deeper dives with the actual business owners because how the system works in terms of process flows, we get it. You have given us an overview on the same. I guess what is the business significance or business purpose of doing some of these things? That's what not just me, I'm pretty sure every audience on this call and others too would be interested in, but I'll hold those questions for the time being, okay? But my net conclusion is there is no customization as such in the sales or the purchasing process, which could probably impact the workflows of Costa Rica and Pakistan team because their interaction with the system is going to be pretty native, most likely, right?
yeah, I would say so.
Okay. I think we are good with this. Karen, I had emailed you last week. We've lost access to Sandbox. Is it possible to restore at least John's and probably both mine and John's access into the Sandbox?
Oh, sure. Oh, I know why. Yeah, because I did a refresh.
That's right. I
Yeah,
realized
that's
that
right.
you
I
had
forgot
mentioned,
about that.
yeah, I very much recollect you had mentioned you would be refreshing, and I assume that was the reason. So if you could re-add me, and if I have the luxury, I would like to take one more license because another thing that was requested from the Marasolim team is to give a demo of the MRP application. And if I can use the sandbox for that, that would be really helpful.
So, I'm giving you and John Sandbox, and what's the third one?
Give me and John, and I'll ping you if I need to utilize one more license. I might be bringing one more resource on.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll
just
certainly
email.
keep you posted. I'll not add anyone without your knowledge.
Yeah, please. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Awesome. Well, yeah, this was super helpful. Yeah, once we get that sandbox access back, I'm also planning on setting up like a little demo as to what the projects might look like if the Costa Rican Pakistan team uses them, which I'll connect with Peter and team and make sure we go over next week. But yeah, this was awesome. I think we'll probably get a little bit of time back on our calendars because I think this is all that we needed to cover.
All right, sounds good.
All right. Thanks so much, everyone. Talk to hopefully everyone very soon.
Take care.